All right, and welcome to Glue Wednesday. Yes, 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 Glue Wednesday. The genesis of the whole Glue Wednesday message in the first place is that it started on Wednesday, where I noticed, for those of you first time on the broadcast, what the cliche is hump day is Wednesday, and that is from old school. See, y'all, new school, y'all need old school, but you have to be careful of how you use old school, and so does old school. But the old school reason for hump day came from the 5 day work week, where Wednesday was the middle of a 5 day work week, because that's how most people live, Monday through Friday. But the truth is that Wednesday is the actual middle of a traditional 7 day work week, because also, if you take that back a step, not everybody work from Monday to Friday. Some people work from Thursday to Tuesday, etc. Okay, so I look at the fact that Wednesday is the actual middle of a traditional week, of the beginning and the weekend, and it pulls it together. So Wednesday is the glue. It's the day of the week that keeps the week together. And we don't need to worry about humping. We don't need to worry about getting over. We need to worry about keeping it together. And so that's why glue is GLUE. God's love undoes everything. Because as you saw, when we brought the end and the beginning together, we got in a prayerful mode already. So good. Hey, what's up, Diane? Family in the house first. Good to see you. All right, yeah, and if she comes on, I got less than 2 minutes for today's message. But if she comes on, I'll give her a shout out. But I'm gonna give a shout out right now to my friend in Chicago, Gail McKiska, or it could be Makaiska, but that's the one who reminded me of, when Facebook tried to force me to broadcast one way. She showed me, hey, do this and keep it, and especially I get to keep it in the old format, which is what really works. Because I get to see the likes and the loves and the thumbs up and stuff like that. Go on, Diane, give me a like or a thumbs up or something, so I can see that that's working. All right, but we got less than just about a minute to go for today's message. And what you going to find out, again, if this is your first broadcast, I started out doing Glue Wednesdays, and then during the pandemic, I upgraded it to Mondays and Fridays as well. So we have Glue Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And why I did it is because we're doing, excuse me, what's called the GAS series, and GAS is the Glue Alphabet series, where each message will focus on a different letter of the alphabet. So that was an idea I got from one of my young brothers, Paulie, who said, "Hey, Sport, why don't you, focus on a different letter of the alphabet?" He didn't say it like that, but something to that effect. And he was just, in passing conversation. I said, "Man, that's a good idea." Okay, we got less than a minute for the message. I said, "That's a good idea. I'm going to do it." You never know when your message is going to strike. See, that's why it's so important to get your word out. And that's why you also have to do what? You have to be comfortable with people who you share your message with, because you're always sharing your message. What's up, Ricky? All right, so you always, and in fact, Ricky, you just got on. I just finished giving Paulie a shout out, because he's the one that gave me the idea to do the alphabet series. But yeah, your message is always being received by someone, and it's 1 o'clock, so we're on top, we're on time, and we're doing the message right now. But recognize that the bigger scope of what I do in my business and my life is about putting the piece of the puzzle together, remembering and recognizing that life is about going from one puzzle to the next. You're either a small, medium, or large piece. Thumbs up. You're either a small, medium, or large piece of every puzzle in your family, business, or social relationships. So, but no matter what puzzle piece you size you see yourself as, no matter what puzzle piece size you see yourself as, without you, the puzzle is incomplete. So that's why it's important to share your message. And that's why you'll hear me always saying, I'll definitely be saying today, choose your messages carefully. In fact, that's really a big part of today's message, is choosing your messengers carefully and recognizing that you're always being carefully chosen as a messenger. So today, I'm going to continue to do what I call putting my foot on the gas. You see it in the description. And our focus today is on the letter T. So what I did and what I continue to do, and you can do to be a part of this broadcast, the next letter in the alphabet is the letter U. So on Friday, my focus will be on the letter U. If you like to get a word into the broadcast, because then I call you my co-producer of the message, then you put a word that begins with the letter U in the thread. And then I will get that word into the next message. So here are the words that people volunteered and put into the thread on Monday when the letter was S. They put the T words in the thread. And here are the words. And it's my job to filter those words in. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, there's that word. But no, people who gave me those words, they'll know to look for them and they'll hear them. In the process, what does that do? That increases your communication skills because it makes you a better listener. When you know what you're listening for, you become a better listener. And so sometimes because we're always listening for our word, we're always listening for our message. You ever hear somebody say, you know what, I didn't get it until so-and-so said so. See, I was needing the word from so-and-so. So my T words today are turbulence, transcendence, temporary, theatrics, thanks, true, tomorrow, and timeless. And they create the message that I call today, that is trust is a must. Trust is the must. My feature poem is going to be Don't Shoot the Messenger. And my affirmation that I feature will also be trust. And I'm going to also read to you some scripture because I love it when I get a message from scripture. And my script today is going to be Matthew 15:22 through 28. P.S. By the way, you see the bright lights? I now have studio lights. I don't know. No, they don't call them studio. It's called a soft light, and it's what they use on the news set on movies and stuff. So it's new light, and it's one of the things that I'm doing to upgrade my worth and value as a speaker because this is what's going on in my industry. What are you doing to upgrade your knowledge and value for whatever industry you're a part of? So remember, if you'd like to get a word in Friday's message, put the letter, something that begins with the letter U in the thread. If you'd like a copy of the poem, what you're going to do is email me at unclesporty@gmail.com, and then I'll send you a copy of the poem. So don't put your email address in the thread. That's just for the letter U. We're also going to do something that we started on Monday, and this message is scheduled to be for about 30 minutes, but then I'll stay on and go live and make any comments that flow in the thread because we had a good time doing that on Monday. So we're going to see if we can make that a regular. But meanwhile, every day, every time I do a message, I wear a t-shirt that has to do with the message. So today's message is brought to you by the letter T and my t-shirt. But then you say, well, wait a minute, it says ugly. That's the letter U. Are you really giving us Friday's message in advance? Nope. This letter I'm giving you is a preview of tomorrow's message, and it's the letter U. Okay, it's to remind some and to introduce to others to heyugly.org, which is a youth site dedicated to self-esteem building as it deals with issues like suicide, depression, and bullying. And it's apropos that we look at the tagline where it says, ugly, it's the new beautiful. And see, the thing is, this is actually from a speech that I created in a Toastmasters contest in 1996, where ugly is UGLY, unique, gifted, lovable you. But also, it's the new beautiful. Well, right now, we're talking about the new normal. So therefore, this message is about now. See, unique, gifted, lovable you was saying turn that negative into a positive now so that you can go forward. Well, that's the same thing we're doing right now with what people are wanting to call the new normal. We have to recognize this is the now normal. This is the way life is going to be for we don't know how long. But trust is also about UGLY, being unique, gifted, lovable you. You have to trust yourself, your uniqueness, what your gift is, how lovable you are, and by whom you are loved, because that makes a difference. And you have to be you, and we'll see that. Meanwhile, items, P.S. one more thing, items and t-shirts with other positive slogans are available at heyugly, HEYUGLY.org. And I'll put that in the thread as well. In fact, go on, put it in there now, Sporty. Okay, I'll do that. Heyugly.org. All right, so you can go there and get yourself some nice positive T-shirts, and it's a 5013C. So please support this worthy charity. Meanwhile, you may have heard me say, in fact, I know you've heard me say, choose your vocabulary. Don't allow your vocabulary to choose. I'm sorry, not choose it. Well, choose it too, but my saying is actually control your vocabulary. Don't allow your vocabulary to control you. See, when I created the speech, Hey Ugly, it was called How to Be Ugly, How to Be Unique, Gifted, Lovable You in 1995. And it talked about turning negatives into positive. Now, I haven't stopped on that journey because I trust myself and I trust what I believe. And I'll first take you to my scripture reading this morning that confirmed and finished my message. And, and that's one of the wonderful things I love. The Bible I read is called a Touchpoint Living Bible, and it gives modern day analogies to scripture. But this one is an analogy. This one I'm actually going to read the scripture to. Hey, what's up, Mike? Oh, man, what's up, my brother? Good to see you. Go get me some Baskin Robbins. All right, but I'm going to actually read this scripture to you and then give you a message that I got from it. It's in Matthew 15:21 through 28. And it says, 22 through 28. A Gentile woman who lived there came to him pleading, have mercy on me, O Lord, son of David, for my daughter has a demon in her, and it is severely tormenting her. But Jesus gave her no reply, not even a word. Then his disciples urged him to send her away. Tell her to leave, they said. She's bothering us with all her begging. Then he said to the woman, I was sent only to help the people of Israel, God's lost sheep, not the Gentiles. But she came and worshipped him and pleaded again, Lord, help me. And then he said, it isn't right to take food from the children and throw it to the dogs. Then she replied, yes, Lord, but even dogs are permitted to eat crumbs that fall beneath their master's table. Jesus said to her, woman, your faith is great. Your request is granted. And her daughter was instantly healed. Let me tell you what I got from that scripture, okay? When I see the message I saw in that scripture, two things. One, I see that how through all the turbulence around him, Jesus is still calm in the storm. He doesn't even answer the woman at first. You see how I said he didn't even answer her at first. Okay? We don't know why, but two, when he does answer her, it's after hearing his disciples, your friends, telling him what to do and how to handle the situation. Now, have you ever noticed how bold people get when they see themselves as superior, or how bystanders have jumped in and attacked someone they didn't know just because they saw other people kicking them? We've seen that on videos where somebody's beating up a homeless person, or somebody, and then somebody who started out didn't have nothing to do with it, then they decide to throw a punch or get a kick in because somebody else is doing it. All right? Okay, and so what happens is, have we ever done that after we listen to our friends telling us what to do and then how to handle the situation? And so where was I? Okay, jumped in and somebody they didn't do, but just because other people were doing it. Jesus turns off the noise of his friends. See, that's what it was. See, that was his noise, because first he was quiet. The lady was talking, he was like, and they say, oh man, I see that he's ignoring her. Well, then let me jump in and say, you know what? Get rid of her. She's getting on our nerves. He didn't say nothing. Instead, he just turned off their noise and advice, and then did what was right for him. He did the right thing for him to do. He trusted in what he believed, and he didn't lose a friend because of it. You just have to change the music in your background sometimes. See, sometimes we're afraid that we're going to lose friends based on the decision that we make. Have you ever had that happen? Have you ever made a decision, in fact, because you were afraid to lose a so-called friend or a person? Now, most of us have. But how many of us can remember the true blessing of not losing the ones who respected our decision? Get back to focusing on those people and those moments. Focus on the people who you didn't lose when you expressed what you believe. Don't focus on the ones that you lost because you said, and definitely don't not say what you have to say so that you don't lose them. It's tough, because I know a lot of, we hear the term politically correct. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to insult her. I don't want to hurt him or her feelings. There's a lot of reasons that surround, and some of them are good, but how many of them are actually forcing you to not be who you are? That's what's important. You have to be who you are. And sometimes you have to make an unpopular decision so that you can continue to be who you are. Sometimes you have to let the people go who don't appreciate, who don't agree with you, or don't want to hear what you have to say. Oh, that's how you feel about it? Well, then the hell with you, and then they cut you off. Fine. Fine, because if you keep holding your tongue, you're going to get mad. Then you're going to blame them for what you don't say. Then when the thing works out, you're going to say, damn, I should have spoken up. So it's a hard decision that you have to make. What's up, Becky from the B-Land? All right, but get back to choosing your messengers carefully. Choose your messengers carefully and recognize that you're carefully being chosen by someone, and then giving thanks to yourself. Have you ever thanked yourself, all right, for trusting your track record and laughing at your lack record? See, what I'm saying is trust yourself, and then I thank me for when I make the right decision. I'm not worried about somebody else thanking me. It's nice when other people thank you, but you got to thank yourself, because we make a lot of good decisions. You've made more good decisions than you've made bad ones, or you wouldn't be here now. That's really one, even if it's just one more good decision than a bad one. But trust yourself and then thank yourself for making another good decision. P.S., by the way, sometimes that decision is an unpopular one, depending on who you're with. But still thank yourself. Say, you know what? That was an unpopular decision. I lost this or that, or even it messed me up. But you know what? I thank myself for speaking up, because maybe I needed to hear that message, and maybe I needed to get that lesson. Maybe I needed to take that loss so that I can keep going, because I'm a part of the big picture. I'm a part of all the puzzle pieces in my life, and that's, again, what you have to say. Can you stay calm in the storm and through the turbulence to get where you need to be? And that's where the trust comes in my Ac-Firmation, TRUSS. Trials redirected usually strengthen testimony. Trials redirected usually strengthen testimonies. Right now, we're going through a trial. But if you, instead of looking at it as a big problem, you look at it as a necessary purpose, it'll be stronger when you get your testimony, because you say, well, you know what? Yeah, I hung in there, and this is what happens. Now I feel better. Now, the people who worry and are fearful and doom and gloomer, doom and gloom right now, they're still going to get the testimony. But their testimony will be different. Their testimony will be one, okay, well, it worked out. But how about the joy of being the person saying, I knew it was going to work out. In fact, I stayed who I was through it all. That's what I'm doing. Now, again, P.S., by the way, you're not me. So it's okay. I'm not telling you that you don't have the right to worry, be fearful. That I'm not saying that, because every emotion is legitimate. And if you have that fear or that worry, if that's who you are, fine. That's why I need to be there to keep that balance for you. So I thank you for tuning in, because at least, even if you've got that worry or fear, you at least are trying not to stay in there. And you say, what can I do to pull me out? Well, Sporty can help me pull me out. And Sporty is willing to help pull you out, because I'll extend my hand, but you got to reach your hand up too, because I'm not going to reach too far down for you, because in the process of doing that, I lose my balance, and now I get pulled into the problem instead of helping pulling you out. And so that's why, and that's a way that you want to look at it when you're helping somebody, to extend your hand, but you have to have a limit of how far you'll go, because then you go from empowering them to, and I always messed up this word up, and from empowering them to enabling them. And that's something that you don't want to do. So when you help people, you have to know how to help yourself. And so this morning I posted, the meme said, I don't live in fear. I live with the realization that I will encounter challenges and tough times. That's the meme. And then what I wrote to support that was, I'm not always excited about what's around the corner or up ahead. Yet I'm always confident that I can get back up after being knocked down. And I know I don't have to hurry back up. Sometimes I can use the downtime to remember what I did to pick myself up from a similar situation. If I can't think of a similar one, I can think of the hardest one. So what was the hardest thing that knocked me down that I got back up from? Maybe I can't think of anything similar. What's up, Danielle? I can't think of anything like this that knocked me down. But I can think of the hardest thing that knocked me down and remember that I got back up. And that I'm still here living with that on my plate. Because sometimes you don't knock things off your plate. Sometimes you get things added to your plate. So recognize that you are living with things on your plate. Even when we say, well, my plate is so full. Well, that means I have stuff on my plate. We don't deny that the plate is there. But now we take that sentence a little further. My plate is so full because my God is so strong that he believes I could handle another portion. And so therefore, maybe what I need to do is get a platter. If I got too much on my plate, then I would just get a platter. Because the thing is, I didn't know I could take a little bit more. But you can handle everything on your plate. I'm going to give you a formula for that in just a second. But let me go on to what I finished writing in that meme. I said, will this new trial replace something on my plate? Or will it now become another thing that I will have less time to give my full attention to? You see, sometimes the more problems you have, the less time you have to spend with each one, which diminishes their power over you. Stop trying to solve all your problems. Start remembering to focus on all your blessings so that they can do more than what you thought they could. So that's what I'm talking about, the balance. See, you can't solve all your problems. But so if you got 6 problems, you divide your attention up among the 6. When you get a 7th problem, don't now, minimize your focus on other 6 and focus on that 7th one. Now, instead of splitting your focus 6 ways, split it 7 ways. But if you've been allotting 20 minutes to worrying, so instead of dividing your 20 by 6, now divide your 20 by 7. When problem number 8 comes, now divide your 20 by 8. Don't give the problem more time, give it less time. In the process, what you're doing, you're balancing your time for worry, and now you're focusing, so that 20 minutes that you use focusing on the problem in your hour, you've got 40 minutes that you can focus on the blessings. And so in those, remember I took the number up to 8, because why? 8 is the number for new beginnings, 7 the number for completion, 8 for new beginnings. So now that I have split that 20 minutes with the problems, I've got 40 more minutes to focus on the blessings. And maybe problem number 8 was a blessing that didn't apply to 1 through 7. So, and so I decided not to focus on it. But if I keep focusing on the blessings, now when problem number 8 comes, I say, oh, wait a minute, here's the blessing that matches that. And I can decrease it. It's a true formula, y'all. But you have to split your attention on the problem. I'm not saying deny that you have problems, but don't spend your time on that problem. Because see, what you focus on, you ferment. So if I keep focused on my problem, I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to mess this up. I'm not going to mess this up. Don't you hear yourself? What do we do with affirmations? We have to repeat them over and over so we can believe them. So the same way you're repeating over and over, I'm not going to mess this up, I'm not going to mess this up. You're actually giving that problem more power because it has your attention. So now you're looking to not mess it up. And so you're saying, I'm not going to mess it up. Let me look to the right. And while you're looking to the right, the blessing that you needed goes to your left. So it really is that simple, but it takes some practice. Are you going to be up 365, 24/7? No, I know I'm not, but I'm up more than I'm down. I'm positive more than I'm negative. I'm going forward more than I'm going backwards. And there's nothing wrong with going backwards. By reframing going backwards, to recognize that sometimes you just have to step back and take a look at your work. Trust your track record. Okay, so focus. What you focus on, you ferment. So here's my focus in today's poem. And again, this poem will remind you of the timeless truth of how important it is to take care of yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually. Take care of yourself first so that you can transcend, which is to rise above any of the challenges guaranteed to pop up in your path. Remember, Jesus guaranteed that you will have at least 4 options as you throw your seed, which is also spreading your message, right? And as he lists those 4 options, the funny thing is the last option is the one is actually the blessing. Okay, so here are the 4 options he gives. If you remember the parable, even if you don't know the Bible, you may have heard this. But he said, when you throw the farmers threw their seed, some will land on hard ground, some will land on rocky soil, some will land in thorns, and some will land in good soil. In other words, and then he shows how each the seeds will fare depending on where they land. If they land on, you know it, if they land on hard ground, there's nothing for them to root, they die. If they land on rocky ground, it's just a little bit of rooting, but then they get crushed by the rocks. If they land in thorns, when they grow, the thorns cut them off. And then some will land on fertile ground, and then the blessings spring forward. So see, he gives that as the last option. So, but he never says stop throwing the seeds. He never tells the farmers to not throw the seeds, and we're the farmers. So he never says stop sharing your blessing. He says keep sharing your blessing, keep throwing your seeds, keep sharing your message. Everybody is not going to listen to what you have to say. You are not everybody's messenger. If I were to stress myself out, put the weight on my shoulder of being everybody's messenger, I would be no one's messenger, because I'd be so busy trying to make sure, he didn't, they want me to say this, well, I need to try to say that. Oh, he wants me to, no, I'd be so busy trying to say the message that everybody else wants that I water down what my belief is. Have you ever said to somebody, that message was for me? Has anybody ever said to you, you don't know how much you just helped me? See, those are all times where we choose to be ourselves. And in the process of doing that, we deliver our message. Thank you for that love, wherever it came from. I appreciate it. But yeah, that's the thing. Choose to be yourself, and your message will get delivered. Okay? So here's the poem, and I want you to hear that through all of that. Jesus, you hear him saying, throw the seed. So here's the poem. It's called Don't Shoot the Messenger. In fact, pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Lift your spirits up to the Lord, whereby you can consciously accept all the beauty that surrounds you. Understand that your opinion cannot and will not be heard in the quiet of your actions. And what have you done for you lately? For as you look out for number one, you allow us the nourishment of your predestined success. Wait, don't go away mad. In fact, don't go away at all. Come together. Come together and give thanks that you have been blessed to add this experience to your life story. And let it be an experience, this COVID-19. Learn from it, live through it, laugh with it, and let your actions be heard, so that as you do unto others, the most important message will be sent, yours. See, whatever you do to someone, they will remember it. So what will your message be? What will they take away from their encounter with you? That poem, by the way, was in my book, I Found Out I'm Dying, a celebration of life. And I show it because, again, this is part of what's going on. We get caught up in the headlines and we miss the subtitles. I found out I'm dying. Yeah, oh man, I'm going to die. How many more people are dying? The subtitle is a celebration of life. This book is about enjoying life. The subtitles in the news, this many people died, but our doctors and scientists are working on it. They've come up with this theory. They've come up with this possibility in a medicine. See, they're trying. This is their challenge. This is what they live for. This is what they went to school for, so that they can come up against to find a vaccine that will make a difference and change the world and save the world. What's up, Marianne? So, so everybody's handling their business. You can handle yours by being positive, following the CDC's guidelines. Stay home. When you go out, you deliver a new host to the potential virus. You deliver a new host that then can carry it to someone else. Now, yeah, we're not totally quarantined where we cannot go out to the stores and this and that. But when you go out, because I've got to go out to the store today, I'm getting ready to do something that that I'm having to do for the first time in my life. I'm 64. August, I was going to make, I'm planning to make 65, but this was one of my goals. Last year when I went to the doctor said, you have high blood pressure and I'm going to need to put you on high blood is it hard for me to say because I don't want to do it, high blood pressure medication. I said, no, I haven't been on medication my whole life. I want to get to 65 and say I have never been on medication. And so he said, well, okay, look, I tell you what, change your diet, exercise, get a heart monitoring machine. You know, he said, he gave me, we'll check on you. I said, okay, let's do that because I don't want to get on blood pressure medication. Today, I surrendered. Well, I surrendered earlier last week, but today I had my first video visit with my doctor, and we talked about it, and I have to get my blood pressure medication. So I'm going to go out to the store today. And I said to him, I said, oh, well, I didn't make it to 65 without getting on medication. I said, but you know what? I made it to 64. See, celebrate what you got. Don't worry don't stress over what you don't have and what you can't do. I cannot make it to 65 without being on medication. Why do I need to let that take over my day? See what I'm saying about that's another problem on my plate? Well, I won't give that much time. I'm not going to, I'm going to now cut that 20 minutes down to how much time does the fact that I won't make it to 65 without medication, how much time does that get in my day? Well, in my 40 minutes in that hour that I've been praying that I would make it to 65 without medication, I've been praying and being thankful for my good health that I didn't have to have medication. So now I can say, well, I'm thankful for my good health that I made it to 64. Maybe I took that 64 for granted. See, come on, reframe. That's what I mean by step back and reframe. Look at your track record. Look at those things that are going on in your life and give yourself credit. Find a way to celebrate you. Now, guess what? I get to take that off my plate. I'm no longer worried about not making it to 65 without being on medication because you know what? I'm not going to make it. I have no control. Once I go get my medication today and take my first pill, it is now off the books of the possibility of me making it to 65 without taking medication is now off the books. Why would I spend time worrying about that? It's gone. And I'm not minimizing what we're going through right now with the pandemic, but how will your worrying change the situation? Actually, I can tell you how. You can let your worry become caution. You can let the caution become cooperation. And what I started to say with this whole message is the cooperation is don't take yourself out so that you could be another host for the virus to come to someone else. When I go out, I'm going to make sure I wear the face mask. I'm going to go into the store, get my medication, get my butt back in the car, and come home. I'm going to comply with the rules because I don't want to give you the virus. I don't have anybody in my household, but I don't want to be one of the carriers of the virus. The virus does not have to be COVID-19. The virus could also be negativity. Are you the virus in your family? Man, I used to be the artist in residence at Purdue University for the Haraka Writers poetry ensemble, and one of my guys, I never forget him, Darie, he had a poem and it was called The Virus. And he would say, he said, no, you're the virus. I don't remember the whole poem, but it was so cool because he built it up to where you thought he was talking about an illness, an ailment, but then it ends up that the virus was the person's spirit. And that the person was their own virus, and it was great. I just now thought of it. And there's another thing that you have to do. See, once you start thinking about things, can't you find yourself a happy memory? Haven't you lived a good life? Haven't you said to someone, God is good? Haven't you said thank you? Haven't you blessed the food? Come on, we've got happy memories, y'all. But we have such a time as this. This is where we need to pull those happy memories up. So you can focus on the challenge that you have nothing to do with. Now, if you're not one of the doctors or the scientists, you're not in the equation. But guess what? If you know one of the doctors or the scientists or someone in their family, I want you to notice that they may pull away from you, or they may have pulled away from a large gathering of people. And you're, well, why are they pulling away? Because they need to be surrounded by positivity right now. If I'm looking for the cure, I don't need negative people telling me, oh man, it ain't gonna work. We never, you see, I don't need that. I need somebody saying, hey, did you try this? Oh, you use 3 milligrams? Did you try it with 4? Or do you think maybe we should go with 8? So, that's what they need. Somebody who's gonna be positive and say, hey, give that another try. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, let's try something else. Not, dang, we never gonna make it. Y'all, it's that little thing that's making a difference in people's lives. It's that little thing that's making a difference in people's lives, because you are someone's messenger. And there goes back to what I'm saying about, have you ever not said something in fear of losing someone? Someone, even though they're hearing you being negative, they want to tell you not to be, but they're afraid that they're going to lose you, that you're going to turn on them. So I won't say anything. But it's killing, it's eating them up inside. It goes both ways, y'all. We got a lot going on. But don't shoot the messenger. Recognize that, somebody else's opinion is theirs, but that just makes them a messenger. And you get to be a messenger too. So ask yourself, is your message temporary? Is your belief temporary? See, I believe in, the reason I said that when I wrote this speech back in 1995 and I've walked that journey and I believe this. I didn't just make it up to have, a catchy title to win a speech contest. That is why I made the speech. But I crafted the speech around something that I believe. And then this organization was founded. I'm a co-founder, and I'm a secondary co-founder because my friend Betty Hefner is the one who liked my message so much. She said, man, I love that message. This needs to be a movement. Because she was in PR and not Puerto Rico, public relations. And she said, wait, this can be a movement. We need to take this out further. And she was the one that came up with the idea to create heyugly.org. And she said, well, Sporty, you're the co-founder because I'm using your message. And she has taken that thing far, far and away. Way beyond what we believed it could be, and she's still in there. So I try to support her as much as I can. That's why I say go to the website. If you can't buy one of the items, find out, because they make good gifts as well. I don't do a lot of promotions on these broadcasts, but right now is a thing. This is one of the things we could be doing to keep our spirits up, is doing something for someone else. So if we don't, if you can't buy an item, share the website. Because you could save a life when somebody sees the things on the positive posts on the website, and that can make a child decide not to take their life by suicide. That can pull somebody out of depression. That can make someone recognize how they should handle bullies, because we've got solutions there. They've got a radio station that people can listen to. So even though it's for teens and tweens, it's for everybody. Because you have to be in one another's life. A teen, one of the things I used to always say when I used to speak in schools is, what good does it do to give the youngsters a good message and they go home to negative parents? So I always made it my goal to serve the whole child, everything around them. So get the message to the supporting systems as well. And if you're a support system, please be a positive support system. So again, is your message temporary? Where it's full of phony promises, lies, and what I call compassionate theatrics, where you just act like you care so that you can see what people around you are going to say. Then you jump on the bandwagon and ultimately commit yourself to their downfall. Because that's what we do sometimes. We jump on the bandwagon and we commit to somebody else's downfall. So make sure that your message is one that you believe in. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. You've made a lot of good decisions. There's something about your ride that no one else knows, just as there's something about their ride that you don't know. Trust is a must. Thanks for listening to this broadcast, because the one thing that we do know we have to trust is glue. Glue. God's love undoes everything. Not that it tears things apart, but that what is torn apart, he can be put back together. If you'd like to get a word in Friday's message, our letter focus is going to be the letter U. Then put a word that begins with the U in the thread. If you'd like a copy of today's poem, email me at unclesporty@gmail.com. And I'm going to stay on because we started doing that on Monday. I'm going to stay on for about, let's see what time is that. I'm going to stay on for about 10 minutes and answer any questions or comments in the thread because I appreciate you. Oh, and then I just paged up and see that I didn't get to say, hey, shout out, Alonzo is here and Sherry. What's happening, y'all? But, thanks for joining me, and have a good moment and then multiply it. So what you got? You got any thumbs up? Got some thumbs, some love? Let's flood the screen with them right now. And if you have any questions, go on, put them in there. I'm live and being interviewed right now. And I got on my glasses so I can read what you put in there. Okay, let me see. By the way. And now I can give my final shout out to Gail McKeisker for helping me recognize how to make sure I use the right Facebook Live. How many of you thank you. How many of you have started using Zoom? So get to know that. I'm gonna look into trying to doing some things on Zoom with you guys as well. We have to treat this pandemic as if this is the way it's going to be for the rest of our lives. Why? Because we don't know how long our lives are. So just because you say for the rest of your life, that doesn't mean that you have another 20 years. You could have another 20 minutes. So therefore, if you die 20 minutes from now, this is how it was for the rest of your life. See what I'm saying about choose your vocabulary, control your vocabulary, don't let your vocabulary control you. Recognize when we say things, they transfer into the next thing. And then they become part of our actions. I'm going to be posting, by the way, tomorrow. Thank you, Leslie. Good to see you, too. I'm going to be posting tomorrow the speech that I won third place with on last Saturday at the Toastmasters Conference. So make sure that you tune in tomorrow and check that out. But I hope you see there, too, the twist on vocabulary. I said I won third place. A lot of people say, oh, you took third place. Oh, and I thank people who, in my threads, oh, you feel first place with us. Blah, blah, blah. I believe that. Because I'm definitely first place with me. But the thing is, I still won third place. Thank you, my brother Mike. Yeah, I appreciate you. Yeah, you still have to win third place. We had 11 division champions competing at the district level. So therefore, I was going up against champions, and so I'm okay. My goal was not to take third place. No, my goal was to take first place. But I'm not in denial that two other messages won out over mine this time. Everything, y'all, is a this time. And so even with this pandemic, this is a this time. We've just never seen a storm like this because most of us are too young to have gone through worldwide situations. But people who go back to what was called World War II, right? World War I, the Spanish flu, there are people who have seen situations like this, not exactly, but remember I said, go back to something that's similar, but if you can't think of something similar, go back to what was the hardest thing that you got over. And say, wow, now that I think about it, I didn't think I would get over that. And I did. Okay, I can get over this. Now, what did I do to get over that? And see, now you're busy caught up thinking about the solution instead of the problem. Because you're not going to now keep saying to yourself, yeah, that was hard for me to do because that was hard for me. No, you're going to keep saying that was hard, but I did this, dang. And then I remember that day where, da-da-da, and then I did that. And so you're going to start tracing the little steps that you took. And now what you're doing is you're building your spirit up. Because you're saying, yes, I can do it. It's not an easy formula. The hard part of it, though, is the focus and the commitment to yourself. And then when you commit to yourself, we give a whole new meaning to PMS. Because PMS now becomes physically, mentally, and spiritually, which is how you have to take care of yourself so that you can take care of other people. So PMS, y'all, physically, mentally, spiritually, take care of yourself. All right? And meanwhile, y'all take care. I'm going to sign off. Oh, no, I only did 4 minutes. We got 6 more minutes. 6 minutes, Dougie Fresh is on. So if any other comments you want to have in the box there. And Leslie, say hi to Amanda for me. You know, that's my girl, Amanda. That's my girl. All right, yeah, and Mike on there. Mike, that's my brother. That's my B friend, brother from another mother. You know, and I laugh whenever I think about you, Mike, and you know what I'm coming up with, Baskin Robbins. You know, because see, I like to buy the pint and eat the whole thing. So when I was staying with Mike, we bought a quart, and so I proceeded to go get the pink spoon, and I was getting ready to sit there and eat the quart because mentally I'm used to just eating the Baskin Robbins from the thing. I don't think about the size. He's like, "What you doing?" And then he said, "No, you scoop out some and put it." I said, "Oh, okay." And so we did that, and it was interesting. I was able to still eat the ice cream, but I could sit there. I could have probably sat there and ate the whole quart simply because my mindset saw that when I see a container of Baskin Robbins ice cream, I never thought about what size it was. All I thought about was I have a container, which it was always a pint, by the way. I never bought a quart and sat there and ate. I've never done that. But it's just that, automatic pilot. That was what I was used to doing. Take the pink spoon and go on and eat the whole thing. These are some of the changes that we have to make. See, sometimes you got to find some. Right. These are some of the changes that you just have to find. She's doing fine. Good. I know she has a 5 years old. Yes, yes. All right. He's full force. Well, guess what? His mother was full force. You know, Amanda was my girl. Amanda gave me some fits. Oh yeah, I love her expressive eyes. She got your eyes, Leslie. Amanda gave me some fits. Hey Bruce, what's up, Bruce? Bruce was up with me on the board at the Dr. King Boys and Girls Club. That's where I know Leslie from. And Bruce seen, I don't know if Bruce remembers Amanda, but he's seen some of them kids give us some fits. But you know what? We were committed, as Leslie is, as Bruce is, in that term of helping those kids get through the Boys and Girls Club of Chicago and making the best of their lives. We saw them do it, and now we get to do what? We get to sit back and say, wow, I believed in them. You know, now we get to see some of the message that we delivered then come to fruition. Parents, that's why I always give a shout out, a high ho to parents. Kids come without a rule book. So does parenting. Bless yourself that you've been the best parent you could be. Bless yourself. Remember I said earlier, thank yourself. Now, it's life. But we have to thank ourselves. Isn't thanking yourself more rewarding than thanking somebody else or getting somebody, hey, what's up, Christopher Metz? That's my guy down there. Are you in Columbia, Christopher? I know you're in Clemson. All right, but yeah, and I'm looking forward to getting back down to Columbia, working with my South Carolina National Guard people, family. Oh man, just a lot of good memories. That's why I just say that I'm starting to do this where I stay on the broadcast and just thank some of the people that I see on there and some of the memories that y'all take me back to in life. I don't remember every single person's name on the list or where we necessarily know one another from, but I tend to know all of the names. And I want to go back to a shout out to one of my friends there, Marianne Reichart, because when we started in Toastmasters, she was one of the most supportive people and friends that I had in Toastmasters, and we had a lot of good time sharing on committees together. And see, that's what I'm saying. Think about the people who have make the positives in your life. How did I say that in my message about focusing on, where was that? We don't change the music. Oh yeah, change the music in your background. Focus on the true blessing of not losing the people who respect your decision. See, so, be who you are and focus on the people who help you continue to fill in the blanks, because even in being who you are, you still don't know who you are. You change day to day based on what goes on in your life. You start to, when certain people get in certain positions, then you see a different side of them that you didn't know about. Now that changes who you are, because it changes your relationship with that person, which now takes a part of your day or time spent, and it has to be rearranged. See, again, the puzzle, we're all connected. So, so don't beat yourself up when you slip up. Say, oh man, one of my favorite shows is SVU, Law and Order SVU, and it's there's a scene, an episode that I watched there, and I'm binging, so I don't know what week the episode really filmed, but I'm binging it on Fire Stick. Shout out! But it showed how the perpetrator was a pastor who was preying on PREY, not PRAY, preying on young teenage girls in the choir. And he had, I mean, he was loved in the community. He had created a home for girls. Now, and that looked great. Wow, this man is creating a home for girls, homeless girls. Not all homeless, because as it turns out, the girl who he got that ended up him getting busted for, her mother lived in Syracuse, New York, but he had her come from Syracuse to New York to be on the praise team because he said he saw great promise in her future, and all this stuff puffed the mother up. My whole point is that what was my point? Is that we've got so many supportive people around us, but we have to be careful. I actually lost the point. Oh, I know what it was. I was talking about how Law and Order SVU. It was a pastor, someone who was in an authoritative position, who was not properly taking care of the flock. And that's why you've got to remember, when you do the right thing and you take care of the flock, look back and then thank yourself for doing that. You don't know what girl or boy has been molested or mistreated, and how you were the bright spot in their day that made them decide to push on. And maybe that was how they stood up to that perpetrator. And, so again, you've got a lot of stuff that you can look back and let's just thank yourself for. So please do that. I will continue to look back and thank you for joining me on the broadcast. Hope to see you on Friday, because I hope to be alive on Friday. You know what I'm going to do too? By the way, it's one of the new things I decided. I'm going to go get a pair of shears and see what it's like to cut my own hair. Now, I'm putting that out in the air. That doesn't mean that I'm going to do it, but I want to give it a try. I might try it. I'll see if my courage holds up for doing that. Okay, so y'all might see a bunch of lines in my hair. Maybe that's how I'll create a new hairstyle. All right, but otherwise, let's bring the afro back and let's be happy. God bless you. Have a safe day. Again, like I said, have a safe moment. Multiply it and make a difference in somebody's life. But trust yourself, because you must do that. Thanks. Ciao.